Hello and welcome to Hadoop Exam Learning Resources. In this series, we would be discussing about the assessment questions of Databricks Spark certification. So this CRT020 certification has two sections for this certification exam. One is a multiple choice section and another is a assessment section. So assessment questions you need to solve on the Databricks platform itself. So what we would be doing, like we would be selecting questions from our assessment exam where we have 40 assessment sample question as of now. So we would be selecting from them and explain you in detail in each video about this particular assessment question, so you can understand the concept as well as you know how to solve the problem kind of thing. So similarly, you have to solve this problem on the Databricks platform as well. So how would you get access to this 40 assessment questions and 240 plus multiple choice questions? You have to go to hadoopexam.com. okay, so this is our website, or if you are watching this video on YouTube, just check the description section. There we have provided the link. Okay, on the hadoopexam.com, you just go here, and here in the Spark section you can see we have all the certification related to the Spark. Okay, so now you can click on the Scala version of Databricks and this will launch this page. Okay, so here you can subscribe for a particular certification exam. So if you want to check the how assessment paper looks like, so you can just click the sample assessment paper here and it will launch the assessment paper here, correct? So you can just start here. These are the instruction and this is the exercise. You can see this is the problem statement about your exercise and the data, if there is any data required. So you can just click on that link and then step-by-step solutions would be provided to solve the particular problem, correct? So that's about this. And if you want to get access to entire material on the hadoopexam.com site, okay, so which include two particular certification or something, so you just go to our annual subscription. How would you go here? You can just click on the this premium certification access and you can see this is the page would be launched here. So you can access much more material using this annual subscription, correct? So we are keep adding. So recently we have added a interview question series as well for Spark, Cassandra, Hadoop, HBase, Hive, NiFi, etc. So you can get access to all this material, correct? So just come through this, go through this page. If you are interested only for particular certification exam, then you can go for this link. And so this is our first assessment exercise. Okay, in this exercise what it is saying, you have been given this data set and you need to accomplish the following activities in the Databricks environment. Okay, so this is like as we move ahead, like the way it is organized is, first we would do some simple exercises and slowly we move towards the harder exercises. Okay, so initially you would learn how to create various basic things, which in each exercise almost you have to do this stuff, correct? So let's go through in this first exercise what we are saying. So I'll go in detail about, because this is the first exercise, so slowly I'll not repeat all the stuff which we have already done in the previous session kind of thing. So in this what we are saying here, create 4 rows where each represent course ID, course name and course fee. Okay, from above 4 rows, okay, and 3 columns in it. Create a case class, okay, name learner. The name of the case class should be learner. So you have to keep in mind what exactly the instruction is given or what question is asking, because the evaluators may not be the knowing your exact solution or your concept which you have implemented in their mind, correct? They would be looking for the exact solution what they are expecting. So output should match, the name of the classes should match, case classes and etc, correct? So that is where they evaluate, because whether what you use to solve a particular problem, it's not the matter. The things matter here is your answer should match what they are expecting, because they are giving you problem statement and you should solve this and come out with the result, correct? So here they are saying clear a learner case class which has a 3 column in it, name, email and city. So they have not given like what could be the data type or something. So by values itself we can get to know like name, email and city. This should be in a string data type, character data type, correct? Create 7 learner objects using the below data. So this data is also given here. Okay, so this is the sample data. Create a data frame using above learner object. So these are the explicit instruction they have given in their exam instruction as well as in their syllabus, like these things you should know. Okay, create an encoder object for the learner case class. Okay, so then fetch the schema from the encoder, convert data frame to data set. So you should know what exactly the difference between data frame and data set. correct? So this is what the problem statement, okay? And as I told you previously, you cannot copy the things from this slide, okay? So whatever basic things required, like data, you need to access it, correct? To solve this problem, we would be providing separate link for that. And for solution, we are not going to provide you the capability to copy the code from here. We want you to write the code so that you learn the things. Otherwise, if you copy and paste, you would not succeed in your real exam. So it is necessary you write code your own, you think your own. It might be possible you would be able to write better solution than here, okay? So it is your efficiency and how. So we are providing the solution from our side for the given problem statement, but you should also know how to solve a particular problem, like with the different other things which we may have used or may not used or kind of thing, correct? So now how do you get the data access? So there is a data tab we have provided. So just either you click on next tab here, so a button, so you would be getting this data. So this would be link we would be providing. If there is a file, then you need to able to download that file, correct? If there is a data directly copy pasted, then on this page you would be getting it. So let me click over here. So whatever the data we need for this exercise, correct? So if you see, for all the 15 exercises, data have been provided here, okay? So what you would be given here, this is the data which you can copy paste with, which is we want you to copy and paste and use it, correct? Even we try to keep it in particular format, whatever, so you don't waste your time to formatting the data and kind of thing, okay? So now let's move to the solution, okay? So now next what we are saying here is create user data frame, okay? So now I'll go to the what we say the Databricks community edition. So in the previous session we have already told you how to log in it, how to create the environment of the Databricks community edition. So let me just click over here. So this is, okay, not this one, somewhere else. So, okay, this is where we have created the notebook, okay? So you can practice everything over here. So okay, so now what we are saying in the solution here is, okay, let me go here, percentage scala if you put here. So we are like, it is not necessary if you have created this notebook for the Scala. If you have created notebook for Python and if you want to use in for Scala language here, so then put the Scala here, correct? Now next what we are saying here is create the data frame, okay? So how would you create the data frame? What is our problem statement? Okay, let me go here. Create a 4 row where each represent this, okay? So how would you create a 4 rows? Either you can use the row object itself, or you can create the data frame, and using the data frame you can create the row object, okay? So this is where how we would be doing here. So 2df is the function. So you what you would be doing, this is a sequence of the data. So this 4 rows which we have here. So let me copy this data here from here, okay? So this is my data, okay? Sorry, not here, here, okay? So this is my data, okay? So you cannot use as it is, you need to format it as per the requirement. So what you have to do is in this format you have to create this data, okay? So let me, okay, I'll also correct this so it would be easy for you in the data file itself. So I'll put directly this content here, okay? So these are the 4 rows. How would you create? This is the sequence file, correct? Using this sequence you can use the 2df function to convert into the data frame, correct? So 3 columns, course ID, course name and course fee we would be creating. So the shortcut is, I think, is Control Enter, which you have to press it, so it would execute the statement whatever you have written here. So let's wait it to be get finished, okay? So meanwhile let's move further, and what exactly next is create the learner object, okay? So learner case class we would be creating here, okay? So for each we would be you would be seeing here we have detailed comment also provided for the to understand. So if you can understand the stuff, if the video is not available there for some problem, so then you can use the comment section as well to understand the thing, Okay, so now here you can see he user df is created. This is the data frame. Okay, now let's create the case class here. Okay, so this is the syntax for creating the case class. Learner is the name of the case class, and name is a string column, email is a string column, city is a string column. So now this is learner class is also created. Now next is create the instance of the learner class, correct? And so what we would be creating, array of the this all the learner object which we have copied here. So with this data we have, correct? So this is the data which we have here. Okay, so you can use this data and you can create the learner object out of this, correct? So what I would be using to save the time, I'll not doing here this all stuff. I'll just copy and paste this stuff, okay, and explain you, so it won't be too much time for you. So this is how you would be creating. So you would be first creating the array. So this is an he data is an type of array which includes 7 case class object here, correct? Now if you want to create a data frame or something, correct, from this what I say, this array. So what is the way you have to do this? You have to first parallelize it. Okay, parallelize is means like on the distribute on the Spark framework. Okay, and then convert RDD out of this. Okay, so RDD is a basic structure, data structure for the Spark framework. Okay, so I would recommend you go through the Spark professional training where we have explained RDD, data frame, everything in detail, so you can understand more in more detail. Okay, so this is, we have a separate training for that. Okay, so I cannot explain everything in detail over here, so we are just solving the problem here. Okay, so this is how we parallelize it, array he data which we have created here, and he RDD is a created here. This RDD is created. Now using this RDD we need to create a, what I would say, let me go just a minute. This is our exercise, correct here. So this is next step, create an RDD from the raw data, and then using this RDD create the data frame and show the data. Okay, so I'll be creating the data frame using this RDD. So RDD is a basic data structure in the Spark, correct, as I told you. So you can just use that RDD and create the data frame using this. So how do you create this Spark? So what is the Spark here? Spark is a object of Spark session, correct? So this is already available here. So we have, if you see, we have not explicitly created here. What is SC here? This is Spark context, or Spark context is a, so these are the two variable which is very critical, you should know this, which are giving access to the Spark cluster which we have already created here. So HE1 is the name of our Spark cluster, correct? So this is which we have already created, and if you want to access this HE1 Spark cluster and distribute your data using the RDD, so you would be using this Spark context. And if you want to create the RDD or using this data frame using this RDD, you use the Spark session object. Okay, so this is a Spark session. So what I mean here is Spark is equal to your Spark session objects. Okay, Spark session class object, and SC here, I think SC might be everybody knowing it, Spark context. Right, so this is two things. So these have both have a different functionality. So this you need to know, like when to use what. So mostly when you work with the Spark SQL or something, so you would be using Spark session. And nowadays people use most of the time Spark SQL, so they would be using Spark session object. Spark context is required only when you have to get access to the, like what you can say, like basic data structure of the Spark, that is RDD, correct? And or you want to broadcast on the cluster some data, then you would be using this Spark context. Okay, so this is how we have created, and here we wanted to show the data. So let's see whether our data frame contains our data or not, which we have. So here you can see this is the entire data. Now here you can see dot dot dot. So complete detail you cannot see. So just put here false. So what? Don't truncate. False means don't truncate my data, show me the entire data. So that's where you can see the entire data. So you can see this email ID here, this is the name of the user, and this is the city. Okay, so that is what thing. In the exercise, what it is being asked to us is like create a learner class, create data frame using the above. Create the encoder for the learner case class. Encoder is the serializer. If you are from Java background, so you should know, like whenever we have to transfer data over the network, it should be serialized, correct? But the default serializer of the Java is not that efficient. So Spark has created their own serializer, and that is known as an encoder. So what they wanted is like to you create an encoder for the learner class. So you create a serializer for your learner class, so you can send it over the network, this data. Okay, so how would you create the encoder? So first you have to import the encoders, which is part of your SQL library of the Apache Spark SQL. So what is this? So you can put import statement in between of your program. So you can see here or Apache Spark SQL encoders. So such thing I recommend you remember. It would save lot of time during your exam. Otherwise assessment exam can take lot of time out of this. You would not be able to think in detail. Okay, so now creating encoder for the case class. How would you creating the encoder here? So you would be using the encoders class which we have used here and the class name. So this is how you would be creating here. So encoders.product method would let you know to create the encoders for your case class. This is the learner. So this is HE course encoders is a serialized object of the learner class, correct? So that is what you can see here. This is encoder. So this is what it tell you the in detail everything about this. Okay, now check whether encoder hold the schema or information or not, and this schema is used to encode the object as a row, correct? So if you want to check, like, because you serializer should have a schema inside this, okay, because that is the basic requirement when you create the case class and create the raw object out of this. So it should have a schema in it, and this is the schema which is we have printed here. Okay, so if you're not able to get to know whether it is printed or not, simply just I'm putting here star 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 to so you get to know this is the line printed by our statement. So here you can see struct type, struct field, and so you should know what is struct type, struct field, because as we move ahead for further exercises you will learn the struct type, struct field, etc. Okay, so this is the schema which for the learner class it is represented here, correct? Now convert data frame to data set using this learner case class as well. So how would you do that? Till now we have created a data frame, correct? Now we wanted to create the data set. So you should know what exactly the difference between data set and data frame. And data set is available only in Scala version of the Spark. Python does not have a data set. There is no need actually, because data set is more about the type information for a particular data frame. If data frame contains the what you can say type information, then it becomes a data set. Okay, but data frame itself can have a schema as well. Okay, so there is a very slight difference. Data frame plus schema you can say is a data set. Okay, so what here we are saying is create a data frame using the RDD which we have created here, and assign the schema which is learner. Okay, learner is the schema which is case class. Okay, so which represent the schema as well, 3 columns and its type, and then you can show the result as well for this. So this is the data set. So this should also show you this same result which previously we have seen here, but this has a schema attached with this. That is the difference here. Okay, so let me go to the exercise. I think that's what it is being asked, convert data frame to data set. So this is the last step. So you can see here this is entire solution step by step we have provided here, and same I have used while explaining you in detail. So I hope this help you to understand the stuff, and if you are watching this video on YouTube, I would recommend go to the description section of the video, click on the link and get more detail about the certification exam and its assessment solutions, etc. And we have 240 plus multiple choice question as well. So this is very good exam to actually assess your capability in the Spark framework. If you clear this exam, it proves like you have conceptual knowledge of the Spark framework as well as in detail knowledge of the internals of the Apache Spark, plus how to solve the problem using the Spark framework. Correct. So slightly different Databricks community edition, which is slight different. I don't know, don't think so. Like there's a huge difference between normal Apache Spark framework and Databricks Apache Spark edition. Databricks makes convenient the things, how to use it and kind of thing. So which is also available from different platform like Azure, AWS, etc. or in your Windows, or sorry, not on Windows, on your own Linux system, you can install it and you can use it. So as I mentioned here, you can practice using the Databricks Community Edition because the same they would be using in your real exam. So that would be helpful for you. So thanks for watching, and I hope you like this session. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe it, and we would be keep adding more videos for our further session. Thank you. I'm stopping now.